Hey guys, how you doing? This is Grace of GB Maltese, and I hope you're doing finer than frog's hair. I thought I'd work on my hummingbird garden with you today. I have got quite a bit done. It's gorgeous. Look at this beauty. Yes, lots of shine. I work all over when I do these. I pick a color or symbol, whatever, and just start doing all the ones I can find. If I miss some, that's no big deal, because when I'm done, I just go back and find the ones I missed and fill them in. Real easy. That's just how I like to do it. Everybody likes to do it their own way. Some people like to do a section at a time. Me, I used to do small sections at a time, but now I like it open and free. But I pull this back about halfway, and then I'll turn it around and pull it back the other half. So I've got it open pretty good. So I thought I would work on this a little bit. I hope you are having some nice weather. We had here in Texas, a couple of nights ago, we had some wind. Woo! Let me tell you. I felt like I needed to batten down the hatches. But it wasn't as bad here as it was up in North Texas, around Dallas. Wow. There were some tornadoes there. I had some bad stuff going on. So, we had the wind, and then we had rain. Wow. I don't know how much rain we got, but it rained and rained, and it rained hard. So, we got quite a bit of rain. Today was a beautiful day. I think it might have gotten, I don't know if it got up into the 70s or not. Something like that. But we have been in the 80s some. So, yeah, springtime is just a-poppin'. It's about that time. And we all know what that means for those of us with allergies. It is time for the pollen to just seep right up into your nostrils. You know? Not real pleasant. And I know a lot of you suffer with that, as I do. It's just part of life. And sometimes you have to just change your medicine up a little bit to be able to breathe better. So, I am so much enjoying this diamond painting. And I love these bendy tips. Multi-placer bendy tips from Everlasting Tips. They make multi-placing so easy. I'm using a 4-placer today. Oh! Yeah, 4-placer. Whoa, Grace, go! Yeah, I don't normally... I used to hardly multi-place at all because I hated all the other ones. But these really make a difference. Well, when I say that, you know, when you say something good about something, then something happens. But it has really been, it's easy to see where you're putting them because they're bent so you can see what you're doing. So that has been really nice. The colors in this are gorgeous. Makes me happy to work on it. So I thought I'd do a few crazy laws with you because, hey, that's something I enjoy doing, and some of them are pretty funny. And I know there are just so many out there. And I'm sure you probably know some that I have never heard of. I did read an article about something that happened in the 1920s. And I might tell y'all about that another time. It was about a comedian in the silent film industry. Arbuckle. Fats Arbuckle, I think was his name. and how his career was ruined because of something that happened. And I'll get into that another day, because I want to read a little bit more about it. It's really sad that a person's career can just be ruined from people lying sometimes. But let's go on to the crazy laws. Okay, the first one takes place in Glendale, Arizona. So, in Glendale, Arizona, it is illegal to drive a car in reverse. Now, surely they are just talking about like getting out on the road and just driving around in reverse. You know, you'd have to, and look, something funny did happen. My husband had told me about his grandfather's transmission went out on his car. Now this was, gosh, probably in the 1950s or 60s, and this is a small town, so I'm sure it was a lot smaller back then. But his transmission went out, and he could only go in reverse, and he was at work. By golly, if he didn't drive that car all the way home in reverse, because he didn't know what to do with it. So it's a good thing that it wasn't in Glendale, Arizona. He could have been picked up, and I don't know what might have happened, but yeah, he could not get that car to go into drive. All he could do was reverse. So he did all the way home. I thought that was so funny. I mean, that was back before Jerry and I were even born, but he's heard that story. He'd heard it a few times. Said his grandpa was, his mom's side of the family was not mechanical at all, so he had no idea what to do. It'd be like me. I would have no idea. Except now I just call Jerry and say, "Hey, come get me. I'm stuck. I can't get out of here." So one time I have done some stupid things in my past. Well, in my present too, but here's one that I had gone with a friend to Humble. Humble is going down towards Houston. It's going south from where I live, and it takes about an hour to get there from where I'm at. So a friend and I had driven down there, and we went to the mall. And when we were putting our packages into the trunk of my car, I had set my keys on the edge of the car, and as I was closing the trunk, the keys slid into the trunk. Yeah, and I closed it, and they were in there. So we were stuck. Yeah, an hour away from home. So I called Jerry up and I said, I locked my I locked my keys in the trunk of the car. He didn't get mad. I think this was it was on a weekend because he was at home. And he came with another set of keys and opened it. That was so embarrassing. But hey, things happen to the best of us, don't they? The best and the worst. But that was, I'll tell you what, I was very careful about holding on to my keys when I put anything in the trunk of that car anymore. Have any of you done anything like that? I tell you what, that is so, yeah, it makes you feel a little bit crazy. Like, oh no. I mean, I hated having to call him, but he came on. He's a good guy. Most of the time. Most of the time. He is. Okay, let's see another rule. Okay, this one. This one takes place in Massachusetts. Now, if you're from Massachusetts, you're going to have to let me know if this still is in effect. In Massachusetts, gorillas are not allowed in the back seat of the car. Are they allowed in the front seat then? I read that and I'm like, what? gorilla. Yeah, I can just see me putting a gorilla in my car. And why? Why would you do that? But anyway, you cannot put them in the back seat of any car. It doesn't just say in a car, any car. So don't be putting them in anybody's car. Maybe the front seat is okay. I don't know, but I don't want them in front or back. Yeah, I can just see him over there. If he was in the car, I'd be out. That's all I can say. In Minnetonka, Minnesota, driving a truck with dirty tires is considered a public nuisance. Ooh, my goodness. I tell you what. The way some of them drive around here in my area, they go mud hogging and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, they're liable to have all kinds of stuff on their tires. But, yeah, that's a public nuisance. And you know, I guess it could be if it was falling off into the street. Oh, and talking about having dirty tires. My husband is a service manager at a car dealership. But he also has to work on cars. I mean, he was a mechanic for many years. I mean, he has a business degree, but my baby is not going to be able to sit behind a desk and work. He's got to be up. And anyway, he has people bring their cars in to be worked on. Underneath the underneath part, you know, you get up underneath the car, and there is cow poop all underneath it, because we have a bunch of people that raise cows around here. Cattle, whatever. A lot of them just do it for fun, and some of them do it, I guess, to sell for their meat. I don't know what they do it for, but anyway, they'll come in there, and instead of washing it off before they bring it up there, they expect the guys to get up underneath there, bull poop, and I mean, just, it's gross. I mean, I've never been underneath it. I can just imagine. But that's just gross. I mean, people need to be a little considerate sometimes. But I'll never forget days he'd come in. You're not going to believe this car that usually is a truck. He doesn't use the word poop, but I'm just trying to be nice. And he does have quite a few choice words that he says. Besides that, yeah, it does not make him very happy, which I don't blame him. I wouldn't be happy either. So, it's not nice to leave the cow dookie under the car. In Australia, you may never leave your car keys in an unattended vehicle. Now, that's a smart one there. Because that's a good way to get your car stolen. So, that I would have to say is a good one. I'm trying to find some more colors I'm looking for. Okay, there's some more F's right there. They're kind of spread around. Yeah, don't leave your car keys in an unattended car. Not a good idea. And that is a good way to get your car stolen or something else to happen. Okay, let's see what else. Oops. In Mexico, bicycle riders may not lift either foot from the pedals, as it might result in loss of control. So keep both feet on the pedals on that bicycle. Well, I guess maybe you could, and if you're riding down the streets and there's a car coming, that could be quite dangerous. So, bicycle riders, be careful. Take heed. And I can see that. Trying to ride around with just one foot or no feet, probably not a good idea. Okay, let's see. In Arcadia, California, peacocks have the right of way to cross any street, including driveways. Wow, those peacocks are special. So, if you see a peacock, stop. I think that would be kind of strange. Maybe they have peacocks. A lot of people own peacocks out there, or I don't know. Anybody around here live in Arcadia, California? That one I do not know. Okay, in the state of Illinois. Now this one I find unusual because I see people doing this all the time. It is illegal to hang obstructions from the rearview mirror, and this includes fuzzy dice, GPS units, air fresheners, etc. So I guess you can't hang anything off of your mirror. Now, if you live in Illinois, is that still a thing? Because I tell you what, I see stuff hanging off of people's windows, mirrors all the time. And I guess that, depending on what you're hanging off there, I guess it could be distracting. But yeah. I've always thought the fuzzy dice were kind of funny. That's not too much of a thing now, I don't think. But I remember seeing the fuzzy dice. I never had the fuzzy dice, no. But I do see a lot of people putting those little air fresheners off their mirrors. So, I guess that's a no-no. In Finland, the Helsinki police do not issue parking tickets to motorists who illegally park. Instead, they deflate their car tires. Now, that's one way to stop them from parking illegally. Oh, that's pretty smart. Oh my goodness, can you imagine? You park your car in an illegal zone and you come out and there's no air in your tires. Wow. That would be awful. I wonder if that's still a thing. Oh, boy. Gosh, I don't know. You'd have to call someone, I guess, to come tow you to a place to get air. Because driving around on flat tires can ruin the wheels. My husband's told me, if you get a flat, don't drive on those rims. I said, well, if I'm somewhere that I think is dangerous, I'll be riding on them rims. I don't care. He said it'll ruin them. I said, I don't care. If it's dangerous, I'm going to keep on going. I don't care what happens to them rims. I don't go that many places anyway, especially now. Not many places to go. I mean, we can get out more places now, but gosh, I've almost gotten to the habit of not going anywhere. So, okay, well that's an interesting one. In Finland, if you get fined for speeding or some other crime, you are requested to pay to the courts related to your personal financial position. So, the richer you are, the more you pay. Hey, now that's a switch. That doesn't happen too often. That's kind of neat. Some of us could get by with a lot cheaper, couldn't we? So yeah, if you commit a crime and you're really rich, or you speed, whatever, you're going to pay more than one of us normal everyday Joes. Boy, Finland's got some good ways to stop people, don't they? In London, it is illegal to drive a car without sitting in the front seat. Oh, I think that's a great rule there. Please be sitting in the front seat. And preferably in front of the steering wheel. Not off to the side somewhere. But I'm sure, well, around here, a lot of the male drivers, they drive their own vehicle, so they don't have a way to drive to be on the right side to get to the mailbox, depending on what side of the road they're on. So I see a lot of them driving to the side so that they can reach over and put the mail into the boxes. I'm leaning over. They lean over so they could put the mail into the boxes. And they're in the front seat, but they're not right behind the wheel. So they are still in the front seat, technically. I think if they have to go a lot farther, that it wouldn't be as bad. But we live outside the city limits, and that may be only here. They may have mail trucks in the city limits. I don't know. I do not know. So, but I can see where that would get kind of difficult. You're driving and have to slide back and forth and back and forth. You'd rub your hiney raw and make a a slide mark in your seat too. So anyway, make sure you're in the front seat. In Switzerland, you may not wash your car on Sunday. Okay. Okay, let's see. We have next. In Switzerland, every car with snow tires has to have a sticker on its dashboard. The sticker must tell the driver that he should not drive faster than 100 miles per hour with these tires. Okay, so if you got snow tires on, put a sticker to remind yourself, don't go over 100 miles an hour. Well, if I was driving in the snow with snow tires, there would probably be no way I would even think about going over 100 miles an hour. That's interesting. Maybe, you know, I guess if you got used to it, maybe you could do that. But here in Texas, if we get an inch of snow, we close the state down pretty much. You stay home. Because none of us are prepared. Well, unless you come from another part of the country, we are not prepared to drive on snow and ice. When I was in college, I remember one year it snowed, and the town I went to college in had a bunch of hills, and you could hear some of the college students try getting in their car driving, and you could hear tires spinning. You could see cars and trucks sliding down those hills. It was bad. I remember there were some guys who took the hood off of their car. I don't know how they did it, and who knows, with college guys, you never know. They took the hood off the car, and they were sliding down hills on it. Like, y'all are crazy. I have no idea where they got that hood. No idea at all. But they were sliding around on it. Crazy. You see all kinds of crazy stuff going on in college. I think, you know, some people hadn't got their brain. The brain development takes a while. And that has been proven to be true. That somewhere in your 20s, you start getting the part of your brain that I think does more common sense. In the early 20s somewhere. Now, in Switzerland, if you forget your car keys inside the car and leave the car open, you will be punished. Wow. Okay, so maybe that goes along with the other law. If you leave the keys in there, someone could steal it. I mean, even like a teenager could get in the car and cause all kinds of havoc. So, yeah, don't be leaving them in there and unlocked, because somebody can take it. But that's shoot, knowing me, I leave. The only times I have locked my keys in the car, maybe once or twice, and just felt so stupid but it happens. You know, you get in a hurry, so. Okay, in Thailand, you must wear a shirt while driving a car. Now, is anybody listening from Thailand? Well, that would probably be really important for women to wear a top, because can you imagine going topless as a woman and all the wrecks that could be caused if you were bouncing down the road and men were watching you? There's no telling what could happen. So, keep your tops on. It doesn't say here whether they're talking about men or women. So, they're talking about everybody. Yep. Keep your clothes on. So, in New Mexico, it is illegal for women to pump gas. Instead, men must willingly volunteer to pump for single women. The same rule applies to flat tires. I'd like to see that happen nowadays. That, most, you know, I learned how to put gas in my car when I first started driving. You didn't depend on somebody else. But there was a time, my mom, she never put the gas in the car. She, you know, that was a different time and era that the men always did that. But yeah, unless my husband just happens to be going and using my car and it's low on gas, I do it myself. But it's not that big a deal, so I don't care. But I would love it if I had a flat tire, if somebody would stop. And sometimes I do see people stop on the side of the road and help somebody. But you never know. In Minnesota, all men driving motorcycles must wear shirts. Now, it just says men. Maybe they should be more specific. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So, anyway, you need to be wearing a shirt, driving a motorcycle. Which is a good idea. Excuse me. In Minneapolis, Minnesota, red cars may not drive down Lake Street. Okay, if you're in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and you know where Lake Street is, do you know why you can't drive red cars down there? Is there something strange going on? That's a little weird. I do not know, but that's, I don't know, maybe they got bulls living down there and they attacked the car. But they actually say that bulls are colorblind, and what they are looking at is the movement of the cape, not the color. So, I don't know. I haven't done a whole lot of research on that, but that's what I have heard. Don't know that for sure. Okay. In the state of Missouri, it is not illegal to speed. Wow, that's a new one. It's not illegal to speed. So, hey, if you're in Missouri, I bet that's not true anymore. If there's anybody out there from Missouri, let me know if that's true. It's not illegal to speed? I don't know. Okay, in Oregon, throwing urine or feces from a vehicle is illegal. Also, you cannot leave a container with those substances on the side of the road. Well, goodness, I would hope people wouldn't be doing that, but evidently they had to make a law because of someone doing it. Or maybe someone said, you know, we should make a law for this because maybe that thought came into their head. Oh, it's a good idea, you know, to be, you know, peeing in something going down the road or pooping or whatever, and then throw it out the window as you're going. Lovely. Ugh. That just makes me want to gag. Someone even thinks something like that. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Wow, that's disgusting. Gross and disgusting. Excuse me. In Youngstown, Ohio, you may not run out of gas. You better... I have not run out of gas. Knock on wood. But my husband did one time because we had a car and the gas gauge quit working. And he hadn't had a chance to replace it. And so he didn't know how much gas he had. Well, yeah. And my husband is really, really bad about waiting until it's almost empty before he puts gas in it. Any of you others have a husband or a wife or a friend or whatever that does that? Oh, that drives me crazy. I tell you what, when I'm starting to get to 1/4 of a tank, I'm starting to get a little paranoid because you never know when something could come up and you need to go, you know. An emergency arises and you need to get on out of there. But yeah, he did that one time. If he did it any other time, I don't know anything about it. And we were not too far from where we could, there were houses around, so we were able to get some help. Thank goodness. Now, the way prices have gone up on gas now. Oh, yeah. Be a lot of people staying home. I know I won't be able to make many trips till things finally straighten out. Okay. Although the speed limit in Ontario, Canada is 50 miles per hour for motor cars, cyclists have the right-of-way. So if you see a bicycle coming and you're going 50 miles an hour, you better stomp on those brakes because that bicycle has the right-of-way. I would be scared to death to be on a bicycle when cars are zooming by me at 50, you know, even 10 miles an hour. Much less 50, but yeah, they get the right-of-way, so you better watch what you're doing. Okay, in the state of Illinois, you must contact the police before entering the city in an automobile. Now, that's got to be an old one. If you had to do that nowadays, the police couldn't get anything else done. Maybe they did that back when cars were a brand new thing and they had to make sure that, I don't know, horses weren't scared. I don't know what would be the reasoning for that, but they had a reason. Evidently. Cars may not be driven through the town in Crete, Illinois. That's probably an old rule too. In state of Kansas, pedestrians crossing the highways at night I'm sorry, must wear tail lights. I'm sorry. Oh, that's getting me choked up now. Okay, I can see me attaching tail lights to my butt. If you're walking down the road with my tail lights, boom, 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 boom. I'm sorry. That's all I could think about. Seeing someone walking down the road with tail lights attached to their behind. Wow. That's crazy. Oh my goodness, the things that they come up with. Who came up with something like that? Good grief. In New Britain, Connecticut, the speed limit for fire trucks is 25 miles per hour, even when going to a fire. Wow. That's got to be an old one. No way that they're going to be just piddling along, going to a fire. Didn't get all of them picked up. That one with, I'm sorry, the tail light one just got me. Okay, in the state of Connecticut, it is illegal to discharge a firearm from a public highway. Well, thank the Lord for that. that, I think, probably would be everywhere. You should not be shooting out there on the highway or anywhere else, you know, unless you're out hunting or something, and that's different. Or you're at a shooting place to, you know, where it's safe, because people need to be more mindful about what they're doing with their guns. I mean, truly. I think all of you can agree with that. That sometimes, I mean, we have guns, but I don't go around shooting them out in the public somewhere. In fact, I hadn't shot in quite a while, but I remember one Christmas, my daddy got me a 20 gauge shotgun. He got my sister one too, for protection. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's how daddies are sometimes. Yeah, that was a Christmas present one year. Alright. In Anchorage, Alaska, it is illegal for a person to tie their pet dog to the roof of a car. Well, thank goodness that Alaska has enough sense to make that a law. If I ever saw someone going down the highway with a dog tied to their car, that might be a time that I pull a gun out. Isn't that awful? That's awful. Just awful. Who would even think of doing something like that? I love my babies too much to even think of it. That's just cruel. I think I did one. Yep, I went one too many. Alright. Well, I think I have done enough crazy laws for you today. I think the one that is going to stick with me are the tail lights. A pedestrian wearing tail lights if you're going to walk around outside at night. I guess I'm going to need a battery to hook that up. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I can just see it now. How many of you can just picture people walking down the highway? Boom, 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 boom. I'm sorry, that just tickled me. That's all I could. I can just picture it. I guess I won't be walking around at night if I have to do that. That's embarrassing. I think I'll stay in at night. No thank you. No thank you please. I think I'll stay in. Okay, I'm going to stop there for now. And I hope you enjoyed some of these crazy laws with me today and enjoyed working with me as I worked on Hummingbird Garden from Diamond Art Club. You guys have a fabulous whatever. I don't know what time of day it is you're watching this, but take care of yourselves, guys. Love you. God bless you. And until next time, take care. Bye.